Welcome to our session on demand. So when you're dealing with demand, basically, we must understand the introductory part that demand simply looks at what? The willingness and ability to purchase um, at various prices within a given period of time. So demand, holding all things constant. As the price goes up, the quantity should go down. That is the law of demand. And the law of supply is the opposite. As our prices go up, supply must also go up, making suppliers more willing to supply more. All right, so the determinants of demand include income, price of related goods can be substitutes and complements, preferences, expectations, and population. So these are the key determinants of demand. So demand can be calculated from a linear and a multilinear perspective. But we must understand the concepts before we do some calculations. All right. So, what are the purposes of elasticity in these demand equations? So, these demand equations have importance in that they help us predict our future prices. They will also help us understand um, policy in terms of pricing. So the determinants of demand, each of them have a relationship that we must understand, and they help us understand elasticity in different contexts. So we have the price of its own good. So it has an inverse relationship. So we know that the price of a particular good has an inverse relationship. So it demonstrates the law of demand. The higher the price, the lower the quantity demand. And this is the reason why elasticity of demand always has a negative what? A negative because of the inverse relationship. So we also have income. Normally, if the income increases, you should demand more of that good, and that good is now called a normal good. But if the opposite happens, as demand increases, you will demand less of that good becomes an inferior good. And inferior goods have negative elasticity. Then we have two related goods, one which is a substitute and the other which is a complement. So we must understand that the higher the price of the competitor, the better for us. So if we're competing with Coca-Cola and our price as Pepsi is 8 kwacha. So if Coca-Cola increases their price, holding all things constant, demand will shift towards us. Demand will shift towards us. So we expect quantity um, demanded to go up on our side. All right. Then we can also understand the concept of tastes and preferences. That when dealing with tastes and preferences, they will also affect our demand. So we know that trends change from time to time. So when there's an vocation for healthy products, people will demand more of a particular product. Okay. The other determinant is the population. We know that the more population we have, the higher the what? The higher the demand. So more households, more demand. Then also anticipations. When people are expecting prices to go up, people demand more now to enjoy the price. And seasonality means that demand will vary with weather and holidays. Now, of these ones, my interest will be the first three that will help us understand how demand works. So if you're given, for instance, the uh, quantity demanded for a product like fruit, the demand function is given by what? 10 minus 2px plus 5py plus 10i. So this is a demand equation that has three things. It has income, it has the price of a competing good Y, and the price of the good we're dealing with now, X. So this can tell us a number of things. Number one, when you see this good X and Y have different signs here, just know that these ones are what? These ones are um they are competing goods. Okay. So what does the coefficient here of -2 imply? So suppose this is good X and good Y. We're dealing with competing goods, Pepsi and or the substitute goods. We're dealing with yes, Pepsi and Coke. So this is we're dealing with good Coke. Okay, what does this -2 mean? What does this +5 mean? And what does this +10 mean? So you need to know the interpretation. So this -5 means that this -2 means that um if the it means that there is a decrease in demand when the increase in the price of good X goes up. It has an inverse relationship. Okay, so this is what it means. This +5, it means that there's a direct relationship. Okay, an increase in the price of good X will also increase the total output demand for the product we're dealing with. All right, so it is important that we understand these parameters and the variables. So we will calculate an equation. This context, suppose we're given the price for good X, they've given us, and the price of good Y, they're given, and the actual income. So they say maybe price of good X is what? 1 kwacha. Price of good Y is what? 2 kwacha. And the income is what? 3 kwacha. So the first thing is you need to calculate the total quantity here. Just get this concept. It's very easy. So when we put these quantities there, we're going to have 10 minus what? 2px. Where there's px, we put 1. Plus what? 5py. Where there's py, we put 2. Plus what? 10i. Where there's 10, where there's I, we put 3. So just compute this. So this equation here, we're going to have 10 minus 2 minus what? Plus 10 plus what? Plus 8. So what do we have? 40 plus 8, 48. So the quantity is given by 48. That is the quantity of good X. As simple as that. Then we have elasticity of the same product on its own price. This is called own price elasticity. We have elasticity of the product on another, is crossing to another good. This is called cross price elasticity. We have elasticity of the good to income. This is called income elasticity. So when the signs are different here, we can tell that these are competing goods. So we are going to get what we call cross price elasticity. So here, elasticity is -2. So we know that anything, if we calculate elasticity, it's either unit elastic or inelastic. Then if we have a positive cross price elasticity, we must understand that that is what? Uh, a substitute good. And we have a positive income elasticity. We should know that that is what? A normal good. Let's go through this quickly. Again, when we come to own price elasticity, what things do we look out for? Just three things. Number one, that elasticity, if it is greater than 1, it is elastic. If it's equal to 1, it is unit elastic. If it's less than 1, then elasticity is what? Inelastic. So I usually use the number line here. Because elasticity is negative, I'm just dealing with this negative part. 0, -1, -2. Okay. So this is inelastic, unit elastic, and elastic. So if we're given random values A, B, C, you tell me if it's elastic, inelastic, or unit elastic. 0.1, -1, -1.1. Which one is elastic, inelastic, and unit elastic?
So A is inelastic,
Yes.
B is unit elastic,
Mhm.
and then C is elastic.
Exactly. So this is um, precisely so. Now, with that being said, anything starting with 0 point something is inelastic, 1 point something is elastic, exactly one is unit elastic. So these are 3 points you need to know under on price elasticity. When we go to cross price elasticity, what do we look at? The relationship between two goods, related goods. So this is XY cross price elasticity. If it's more than 0, means a positive. So this is called a what? A normal good. If it's less than 0, it means negative. This is what? An inferior good. A normal good is simply something that you desire more when your income is going up. So I can give an example of a relationship. It's a normal relationship. You love this person more when you are doing what? When you are spending more time. But the more you spend more time with the person and you love that person should be an inferior person. Don't value their time. Just tell them that you're an inferior good. So normal goods are things that we should demand more of as we do what? As we gain income. So examples are thrifted clothes, Salaula. If our income goes up, you will be less attracted to buying Salaula clothes. Those will be what? Inferior goods. Okay. Then when we are demanding more of that particular good, it becomes a normal good. So you tell me, um, this is for income, not for cross price. So for cross price elasticity, if it's a positive, it means it's a substitute good. If it's negative, it means it is what? Um, it's complementary good. So substitute goods are goods that we demand more of. They're competing goods, for instance, Coca-Cola and what? And Pepsi. So if the price of Coca-Cola goes up, the Pepsi guys will be happy because demand will switch. So if you get a positive, means that's a substitute good. If you get a negative, means that is what? A complementary good in terms of elasticity. This is positive and this is negative. For um, income, I've already explained to you for income, what are the key things to look at? If you get a positive, it means that is what? A normal good. If you get a negative, this is what? An inferior good. So positive goods, we demand more of them as what? As our income goes up. We got normal good. Of course, for normal goods, between 0 and 1, it's a necessity. Over 1, it's a luxury. But they're all normal goods. So negative here, we have inferior. Okay. So these are the key concepts you must understand. So we're given a demand function. Here Q is equal to 10 minus 2px plus 5py plus 10. So just by looking at this here, we're able to tell that These guys are opposing each other. There's -2 and +5. These are competing goods. If we're negative here and negative here, we'd have said these are what? Complementing each other. Complementary goods. And key is this other good. The good X is always negative because price elasticity of demand is negative. But cost price can be positive or negative. So if I have a positive, it means it's what? It is a substitute good. If I have a negative here of the other good, would have been a complementary good. Then for income elasticity, we have also explained that if there's a positive, which is greater than zero, it means it's a normal good. If it's a negative, it means what? It's an inferior good. Those are the things to look out for as you're interpreting these results. Elasticity of income. Income is denoted by three letters. When you find I, you can find M, you can find Y. So if you have a negative income elasticity, that is an inferior good. And we've already explained what an inferior good is. Are we together, Susan? I really need you to understand it to the core because this is about the principles. Once you lose them, you you don't go anywhere. Are we together?
Yes.
All right. So with that being said, we now go to um, explaining the calculation. Please share the link with your friends. Okay. So our price of good X, actual price of good X is 1 kwacha. Actual price of good Y is 2 kwacha. Actual price of good of the income is 3 kwacha. So now there are gradients here. All right. There's a gradient for good X. There's a gradient for good Y, and there's a gradient for income. So these gradients are very important to helping us calculate. What is the gradient for good X? It's simply the number that comes before good X, Px, -2. What is the gradient for good Y? Positive what? +5. What is the gradient for the income? Positive what? +10. Then the formula, we have three important formulas that we need to look at. Income of X on X is called on price elasticity. It's simply the gradient for good X times the actual price for good X over what? The overall quantity demanded, QX. Then if it's crossing from good X to good Y, we're going to look at the gradient for good Y and the actual price for good Y over the overall quantity demanded, QX. The same we do with income elasticity. Income elasticity is what? The gradient for income times the price for actual price for income and the quantity, good X. So let's substitute in these parameters. Okay, so what is our X on X? What is our gradient for good X?
-2.
-2. And what is the actual price for good X? 1 kwacha, right? And the quantity demanded, we calculated it as what? 48. So the final answer will be 2 over 48. What do we get? Okay, what do we get in?
0.02.
Okay, negative 0 point.
0.042.
Okay, what's your comment on this one? Elastic, inelastic, or unit?
It is in inelastic.
It's inelastic. Good. Anything starting with zero is inelastic. All right. Then here, what was the gradient for? Good. Y. 45, right? And then what was the actual price for good Y?
2.
2 kwacha. And the quantity? Standard throughout is 48, right? So we're going to get 10 over 48. What are you getting?
0.21.
Positive 0.21. I'm interested in the sign. Now tell me, if the sign is positive for cross price elasticity, what does it mean?
I'll let someone else answer that one.
Here, the clue is here. If it's a positive on cross price elasticity, what are we looking at? Is a substitute or a complement?
Substitute.
Yes, a substitute. The key is on the sign. All right. Are we together? Let's try. Somebody lead me to income elasticity. What do we do?
So just a question, will you be sharing this recording?
Help me calculate the elasticity of income. What do we put the parameters here?
It will be 10.
Yes, 10, which is a coefficient, times
10 times 3
mm-hmm.
or 48.
Okay. What do we get as a final answer?
0.663 or 625, whichever.
0 point what?
63 or
Mm-hmm.
0.625.
Positive 0.63. Okay. What is your comment on this?
It's a substitute.
No, in terms of elasticity of income now, of change. So it is income. So what are there are only two parameters on income. So income has, if it's a positive, it should be normal good. If it's a negative, it's an inferior good. So these are only two.
It's a normal good.
It's a normal good, exactly, yes. All right, normal good. Is it clear now? Okay. So now the principle goes to any question to do with this. I don't know where whatever happens when you forget now that though now the demand for a brand fruity drink is given by the following function. Everything has been given. The price of X is 2 kwacha, the income is 20,000, and the price of the competing brand is what? 2.50. So what is um what so what do we do now here? So we're given those parameters. So we've been asked now to explain what the parameters mean. So here we're given 5 q is equal to 10 minus 5px plus 0.01 plus 10 py. So let's interpret each of these one by one. So what does the coefficient there at px mean? So this is what the coefficients mean. So let's decimate them one by one. So pi means px means the price of fruit itself. Well, this is good fruity, so meaning this is fruit. This is the income, and this is the uh, price of good y. So here the coefficient of fruit is so showing what? -5 here, which is an inverse relationship normally for demand. So it means that if price of good X increases by $1, the demand will decrease by 5 liters. That's what it means. It applies the law of demand. As price increases, quantity falls down. Is that okay? So we're interpreting this. Then I here, 0.01, is got a direct relationship. It means when income increases by $1, your demand will increase by 0.01 liters. So this means that it's a normal good. All right? It's a normal good. Can you try on this one? What does this mean? The 10 plus 10 is also showing a direct relationship, right? So if a $1 price increases for demand, it will mean that 10, the demand for fruity drink will increase by 10 liters. So this shows a substitute effect. Okay, it's a substitution effect. All right. How together so far on that? So then,
Yes, yes.
okay. The second part is asking us that at the stated variables given, calculate the monthly consumption. Okay. Although we've been told in gallons. But in short, they're being asked to find what? To find what Q is. So how do you calculate Q? Q, just substitute those figures in there. So where there is a PX, you put 2.0. Where there is a I, you put 20,000. Where there is a PX, you put 2.5. So when you put them in there, you get 45 liters. Okay, so Q is got 45 liters. In gallons, you can just convert it. Okay, so meaning what is the consumption per month? 45 liters. Or 11.89, which is 12 gallons. All right, is that clear?
Yes.
Then the second part is suppose income has increased to 30,000 from 20,000. That is the income effect. So what do you think will be your response in your answer? Okay, does this law um, play with the law of demand? So before we even calculate if the increase in income will make us demand more of this good, it will mean it is a normal good, right? If we increase income from 20 to 30 and the demand goes down, what type of a good is it? I repeat, we're told that income is increasing from 20 to 30. So if the income increases from 20 to 30, causing an increase in quantity demanded from 45 to whatever, then we must submit that that is a normal good because the normal good simply increases when income goes up. Now, my question is, suppose the opposite happened. The increase in income resulted in a decrease in quantity demanded. What type of a good would this be? An inferior good, right?
Yes.
Yes. So here we just substitute the 30,000 where there was 20,000. and we're going to get 55,000. So it has increased from 45 liters to 55 liters. So what can we say? That this is a normal good. Is that clear? So the normal good, according to the law of demand, says if price remains inverse but income increases, so we'll shift to the right outwards. It's a normal good. All right. Then let's go to the other part of the question, which is asking us to say, as a manager, you're interested in estimating the demand of fruit besides the variables included here, the price of another good, the income. What do you think are the other factors that will affect demand for fruity drink? What are some of the factors that will affect demand?
Yeah, we can incorporate tastes.
Yes, tastes and preferences, population of the household. So with the marketing flavors and health concerns will influence purchasing decisions. So maybe advertising fruit as a natural juice, demand will increase. Consumer um, size, population size. So if there are more families, the total consumption will be higher. Other minor factors will be maybe seasonal changes like weather. When it's hot, they'll buy more. Okay. Then consumer expectations of the future prices will go up. And also the availability of substitute goods. These ones will also have an effect. Are you together? So lastly but not the least, explain the significance for economic theory, the relationship between price and the perceived quality. What is the relationship in economic theory between price and quality? Okay, so economic theory, the relationship between price and quality is such that um, the higher price sometimes is perceived to have higher quality. So this may have an increase in demand in some segments. So lower price sometimes you may signal it to poor quality, so you may reduce demand. Okay, for conscious buyers. So like, why is this phone iPhone 3000, which is worth 15,000? So you will have questions. So in terms of managerial significance, pricing decisions are important because they help influence brand image and consumer perception. So there must be a balance between affordability and premium positioning. So for this case, Fruity is priced slightly above the competitors. It should be a premium product. Okay, so you've also seen how is that series, those who buy juices, is far ahead of these other juices. Okay, branded juices. Maybe it's because of their premium. And people will still buy. Right, so we end here. I hope this was insightful. Meet again. Unless there are any bad
Um,
questions.